The last year has probably been a trying time as we'll ever go through in the state of Missouri that I've ever been through in my career. It's been the toughest time I've ever had. Over the last year, with people trying to give you advice, trying to listen to what the experts say, trying to figure out what was best for Missouri, and to make the decisions that I had to make during that time. And again, I want to thank my colleagues who are here this morning for supporting those decisions. I know the Lieutenant Governor's in here this morning has been somebody I've really leaned on during this whole time. But let me tell you the thing that I will tell you today. Today we are second in the nation for the lowest positivity rate in the United States. The lowest in the nation. We are in the top 10 in recovery in the United States of America. Our unemployment rate is in the top 10. And for you, as chamber members that are here today in business, we're also number 11 in the United States for site selections. And when I say site selections, that means people are looking at Missouri to put their businesses here, to expand businesses, and for us to move forward. The reason I'm telling you all of those numbers, in the middle of a pandemic, this state created over 10,000 new jobs that most people's not going to report to you. Not the ones we lost, not the ones we got back, 10,000 new ones. Over $1 billion worth of investment in this state. And that goes all the way from Accenture Federal Services in St. Louis, 1,400 new jobs. To in Belton, Missouri, Chewy Pet Food, 1,200 new jobs in expansion. Amazon in Republic, 500 new jobs, 1 million square feet under roof. So you can go home, get your tape measure out, and see what that is. It's one heck of a big building, I can tell you that. But those are the things going on. Expansion of Boeing in St. Louis and St. Charles area, Ford Motor Company, and I can go on and on down the list. 10,000 new employees, over $1 billion investment in the middle of a pandemic. The reason all that happened is because we did not shut the state of Missouri down,
Absolutely.
and I did not. We didn't do any mandates. I get a kick sometimes with Governor Abbott and Governor Reeves, which I know very well, in Mississippi and Texas, and they talk about the mandates, you know, and they lifted their mandates, and it was all over the national news. Well, we never had any, because I think that is up to you to decide what to do. And as governor, I had to depend on you to be able to do those things. And that, to me, is individual freedom. And even in the middle of a pandemic, you have to put things like that at the forefront. And those are decisions I made. I made them on faith, I made them on the Constitution, I made them on freedom, and I protected that. Even in the heat of the battle, that's what you do. But, that being said, so I'm going to get the pandemic out of the way. Let me touch on the vaccine on that. Vaccine is going just as it has been planned all along. We are doing everything within our power to get vaccines to the people that want a vaccine. We continue to move up the numbers. We went from 50,000 a week to now 250,000 a week. So if we keep the pace we're going, and they keep giving us a supply, we'll be able to do 1 million people in a month, roughly, if we do that. When we get that, we're going to get 6 million people in Missouri. Probably half of them, a little more, will take the vaccine. Maybe more as time goes on. But if you see, that 3 million is the goal. Right now, it's about 65-year-olds and most vulnerable people. Every one of you should have them at your forefront of your minds. Those are the people that go to the hospital, those are the people that die. And that's just about as simple as I can put it, and that's why it's so important we take care of those people first. And we are, and things are going well on that. Okay, so I got COVID, I got vaccine out of the way. Let's talk about some fun stuff. Let's talk about the economy, where we are in the state of Missouri as far as that goes. When I first became governor, the two things I prioritized was workforce development and infrastructure. I have never swayed away from those two things that I believe so dearly in. And the other thing that you have to add with that is early childhood development. If you want to change society as a whole, if you want to make a difference in your communities as a whole, it all starts with the kid. And you've got to be able to put a priority on our children in the state and make sure, one, they can get an education. I don't care what means that is, but they got to get in the classroom, they got to sit there, and they got to get an education. We got to do everything we can to make sure that happens. And that goes whether it's in downtown St. Louis or whether it's right here in Eldon, Missouri. Those kids need to be in school. The other thing, they need to know what it is to work, to have an idea what the workforce of tomorrow is. It's why we put such an emphasis on career-ready workforce development, ready workforce in the schools across this year. 12,000 new students will go into this program in high school this year to learn the trades of what life's going to be like after school. And that all means IT, that means graphic design, that means cybersecurity, that means welding, that means carpentry. All of these things that we're putting a priority on in these schools. 12,000 new kids will learn those trades this year. The new additional ones will do. That's how you change the needle. That's how you build the workforce for what it is. If you want your community to grow, you've got to have people here that work. My whole goal is to make sure your kids, your grandkids, have the opportunity to stay in Missouri. I want them to be a Missouri business here. I want them to stay home, and I want them to have the opportunities right here in this state to work. We are second in the United States. The reason I'm going to say I'm second in the United, we are second in the United States also, because I was sick and tired of hearing we're 40th or 45th. We are second in the United States of America in apprenticeship programs. We are doing it right in this state, getting people qualified to go back to work. And you can go on and on down the list of what we're doing in this state. And the other thing that's important to me is infrastructure, because everything that you do in this town or this area is based on your infrastructure. Where you live in your houses is because you want to live there because of the infrastructure in place. And we've got to continue to push those two issues when it comes to workforce development and it comes to infrastructure. We have not lost a beat in infrastructure projects in the state of Missouri since this pandemic started. Everything is still on schedule. Matter of fact, we even got a few more things done simply because when traffic went down a little bit, we actually got to complete bridges that we talked about in rural Missouri. So the 250 bridges in the state of Missouri, rural Missouri, for the most part of that, some of our worst bridges, over 100 of them have been completed now after what the legislatures and what we did in Jefferson City to be able to do that. And Roadsport Bridge, I-70, by Columbia, major bridge, that's still on schedule. Buck O'Neill Bridge in Kansas City, another major project. It'll be completed up there. And then the I-270 in St. Louis, which is another major project to do that. But yes, here in Eldon, Missouri, here in the rest part of the state, you're going to get your fair share of these projects. I come from a little town much like this, and I'm going to make sure that rural Missouri gets their needs just as much as the urban areas do. As much as people want to divide me and think I'm a rural guy and I'm not treating the urban areas fair, there's no truth to that whatsoever. I believe in Missourians. I believe in the equality of each and every one of us. And my job as a governor to take care of everybody, not one particular group, and that's what I continue to do, and that's what I will focus the rest of these 4 years on. So I know you got a lot of speakers here this morning. Frankly, it was just great to be out and come up to a crowd. My kind of folks here that I like to see here in Eldon. And I don't know if we got Quaker guys here today. I know we got some Quaker guys here. I think you're getting ready to do an expansion. Is that right? Can I say that? Is that public? Well, it's not. Just disregard what I just said. But let me tell you this. There is business after business in the state of Missouri. That's what's good for your community. When business like this they come and they expand and do the things they do. And it's because of what we're doing here in the state, we're doing the right thing. Look, keep the faith, hang in there. There's not a better state in the United States than Missouri, and I'll take that to the bank all day long. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you having me in here. It is an honor and privilege to be the 57th governor of the state of Missouri. God bless. Thank you very much.